All right, let's begin. Okay. And just grab your spot. You might be seated, maybe on the edge of a chair, so you can still move the legs out a little bit. You might have a chair nearby, not something so close you could fall on, but you could get to and put in place if you decide after a while you've had enough standing. So always do things in the way that suits you best. There's no pressure or expectation. Every day is different. Every day we're in a different body, different state of mind and energy level and all kinds of things. So just day to day, moment to moment, all we can do is what we can do, and that's enough. I find myself here. I am here. I am here in this place. I am here in this body. I am here in this heart. I am here with this mind, in this consciousness, this greater awareness. I am here in this moment, this present experience. As I am now, I am here. I am here with clear intention, purity of heart. And in this process and journey, every day in every way, we are growing healthier, stronger, better, and wiser. Adjusting breath, 3 deep breaths. Exhale, gather, filling from the belly up. Empty from the top of the chest down. Squeeze it out. As if scooping the earth and drawing up. As if reaching into the sky and calling down, pouring down. Gather and release. Relax the breath, clasping the hands behind the back. Dream walking, lifting one heel at a time. Maybe the first few, it's a little more deliberate, a little more body weight onto the foot and the ankle and the knees and activating the hips. Maybe that's too much pressure and you need to keep it more centered. Just do what feels right to you and begin as if walking in place. There's all kind of variations on this exercise, but this is a good staple. This is a good basic. Good way to lubricate the joints, get the blood flowing, get the energy pumping. And just bring your awareness of your breath into your belly. Slow and deep inhale and exhale. Just finding your own natural rhythm with your breath. Slower and deeper we breathe, the more oxygen we take into our system, the more we're able to help the body activate its energy, get oxygen to the organs, systems of the body. And slow it down. And bring it to the center. Relax the arms. Hands on the hips, hip revolutions, a couple side to side. Just taking a moment to get a feel. It feels good to my body today. Also might depend on the time of day. Whether you're starting your day and you're all kinds of energy, or you're at the end of the day, you need to slow down a little bit. Just do what's right for you. Begin to circle in the air. And the butt, push back, hips to the side, pelvis forward, hips to the side. You might have a great, wide, big circle with the hips, or it might be minimal. Just listen to the body. One of my first lessons from my first Tai Chi master. Learn to listen to the wisdom of the body. All these ancient practices talk about listening, listening to our intuition, our gut feeling, listening to the indicators of our emotions. What is it telling about it, our life experience? But then once I receive that, it's up to me what I choose, how I respond, to what degree I allow myself to get caught up in it. So the more I practice slow, deep breathing and take time to connect with myself and my body, the more I'm able to find my center in those moments and reverse the circle. Being able to listen to that quiet voice that can guide us along our path. That little intuitive nudge. Listening to the feedback of the body. Not waiting all day or all week to tune in to how we're feeling. Right? To where it has to get so big and so loud that everybody in the room knows how you're feeling, right? So we want to catch it when it's early on. Take time throughout the day. Tune into the body. To dial down the noise in the mind so we can hear that quiet whisper. It can take practice. For me, it probably took close to a decade to get to some of those places, right? So it's going to take whatever it takes. And bring it to the center and relax. Shaking the branches of the tree. So it might be very light and deliberate, just depending on how your body responds. It might be vigorous. Just shaking free. Just letting go of any tension, any stress, any strain in the body. And when we invite these things to happen, it might not happen right away. It might take a while. It might take time. It might take hundreds of times before the body and the mind finally realizes to let go. Go with the stress. Shaking free old things, stuck things. Making room for new growth and regeneration. And relax. Good. Hands to the thighs, riding the wave. Arms floating up like water. Legs lengthening. It's kind of hard to tell from the front view, but as I come down, I'm bending my knees gently without causing strain in my joints. Not going into a deep seated squat of any kind, just gently sinking down and pushing against the earth and rising back up. Basic physics. Gravity is pulling my body towards the earth. And as my body makes contact with the earth pushes back. And just follow and ride that pushback, flowing up, pushing down, exerting just a little bit more of a pushback as I activate my body. Just feeling the connection throughout the whole system. Everything moving as one. Even if you can't raise your arms that high, your arms are a little bit more out in front of the body. Not everybody has all their limbs or all their functions, so just whatever you need to do in that moment. Just make it suit you, your body, your state of being. Calm, focused, softening the muscles, letting go of the bracing for impact, letting go of the tension that drains our energy and slows us down. You continue breathing at your own pace, or you could breathe along with me. If you can't breathe through your nose, breathe like sipping through a straw to slow down the exhale and inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink. Gather. Rise, expand, and release and sink. Rooting towards the earth. Gather. And release. Third deep breath. And relax. Good. All right. So now we're going to rock back and forth. I'll give you a side view. And be mindful and listen to your body, your balance. Depends on where you're at with things, your body itself. And you might, instead of rocking back, you might just shift back a little bit, keeping all points of the foot in contact, but just a little bit more weight onto the heel. Then the arms come out somewhere to counterbalance. And then gently rock forward onto the balls and toes. You can keep the heels connected and let your hands come back to counterbalance. Doesn't mean you have to come up onto the toes, though you can. And sitting back, maybe you can get the toes and heels off the ground, or just shift your weight back a little bit. And then arms back, body forward. Maybe you need to skip this or just keep it very minimal. And rock back. Feel the transition, feel the shift as the arms come forward. Feel the change in your balance, movement of your center of gravity. Maybe you can find that balance point where you can get your toes and balls of the feet off the ground and bring it forward. Just giving the body a chance to fire the nerves and to make the connections towards balance, these little micro adjustments, these little shifts in our body feed different information to our system, to our brain. It allows us to calibrate. So just taking a moment to balance forward, counterbalancing the arms behind. Maybe you have a dresser nearby, something you can hold on to. And bring it to the center. Hands on the hips. Shifting stances, balancing, shift. You can step it in, slide it in, or balance your way in, feet closed. Maybe you have to leave them a little bit open. If you're in a chair, just shift your weight onto your sit bones from one side to the other. And then shift and open up. Bring it to the center. Find your center. Shift, feet together. Again, you can step it in a little at a time, slide or balance your way in. My weight's shifted to one side, so then I bring it to the center. I find my center. Even if I stay in a natural stance instead. And then rise up through my center. Sink the weight. Lower the center of gravity. Shift the weight to the side. Empty the leg. Light. Step it out, slide it out, or balance your way out. Natural stance, feet about hip to shoulder width apart. Not too wide, not too narrow. And then find your center. Gentle bend in the knees. Let your center of gravity sink right between your feet, right into the earth. Shift, and now turn from the hips 45 degrees. Pick up your toe and let the toe turn. Shift your weight forward, let the back toe turn in. So I'm in a natural stance, turn to the side. And then bring the weight forward, up onto the toe, ball of the back foot, without leaning forward or back. Stay nice and upright, connecting to my center, my core, my kwa, my lower dantian, and then ride the stance back and sit. Without leaning forward or back, finding right into the center. And then shift the weight. Push off the back ball. And let it load the front leg at about 85 to 95% on that front leg. Maybe that's too much strain on your joints and you need to keep it more centered. And then sit back without leaning back. Test. Can you pick up that toe? Are you stable enough? Foundational leg and balancing on the toe. And then shift. And sit back. Bring the weight center between both feet. Toe turns straight ahead, toe turns straight ahead, and I'm back in my natural stance, my natural width. Light bend in the knees. Shift the weight, take the pressure off the foot, turn from the hips, let the toe turn out 45 degrees on the heel. Shift the weight. Turn the toe in about 45 degrees on the heel. Natural stance, turn to the side. Then, still in my center, and I'm going to let my weight come forward up onto the ball, without leaning forward or back. Just trying to find that taut line, the string that pulls to the earth, gravity, and this lifting, this push back from the earth as I let my body be supported and rise. And push off the front ball. Flat on the back leg, back foot, most of the weight back there. And the ball and the toes, maybe 10% of the weight forward. And then push off the back ball. Let your foot come flat and up on the ball, like you're getting ready to lunge or run. Nice and upright. And sit back and forward. Calibrating the body, retraining the nervous system. Getting everything to align and to organize, to support what we're up to. And sit back. Both feet flat, weight centered. Toes turn to the front. And shake it out. Arms out in front, and if holding your arms up is tiring, then just have them down and at the side or just in front of you. And turning the palms up. Middle finger, index finger, ring, pinky opens up, thumb, nice open. I'll have my hands lower down so you can see better. And then rolling the pinkies in, wrapping into a fist. Lastly, the thumb is on the top. We're going to give it a little movement in the wrist. And begin. Oops, we're doing this one. Index finger is going to lead, rolling out, and then rolling back in. So it's a little bit like kneading dough. Rolling out and rolling in. And just bring your breath into your belly. Let your body move. Maybe you do a handful and that's enough for you, so you just rest. Always do what feels right to your body. The degree, the duration. Sometimes we feel like living up to a challenge and we're going to give it our all and keep up. That's all right. As long as the body and the energy is ready for such a thing. At other times, it's wiser to yield, to listen. Just rolling out and rolling back in and relax. And for this next set of movements, we're going to kind of dive in and dive out with the arms, internal and external rotation, and shoulder joints. And we're going to be moving up in different levels. So again, if you need to, you could just keep it all in a lower plane, do a few, and if that's enough for you, then That's enough for you, or skip it if you know it's not for you. Okay, here we go. We're going to rotate backs of the hands towards each other and down. I'm going to let my body round a little bit. I'm going to just kind of let my body respond so I don't make things too tight. And I'm going to roll my palms up and out, external rotation. And I'll let my chest come forward a little bit. If that feels good to you, do it. If that doesn't, then skip it. And then my palms rotate forward. I'm going to kind of lean back a little bit, pushing out in front of my chest. And then I'm going to rotate out, like I'm going to give a big hug. And I'll let my chest come forward again. And then palms forward about chest height. And that all could be happening lower. And then open up. So I'm kind of rock forward and rock back. Only to the degree that you can. And let your whole body get into it. See what feels right. Maybe you have to adjust your stance. Maybe you're in a chair. And rotate out. Maybe do one of each, and that's enough. Maybe that's all the body can handle today. Just giving ourselves time to calibrate, to reorganize, rejuvenate, to build up strength and flexibility, one movement, one day at a time. And just do the best you can to follow along. Just leaning back, diving in, shifting forward, and the pelvis and chest come out, arms back. Let the butt go back, nice and rounded in the back, and then nice and rounded in the chest, in the front. Just do what you can. And you can breathe at your own pace, or you can breathe with me. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open up. Exhale, palms forward. Inhale, open up. Exhale, palms forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, dive down. And relax. Just take a moment to relax your breath. Relax your body. Just take a moment to soften. Relax your arms. Maybe you roll them a little bit. And just kind of feel into the body a little bit. Breathe. And relax. Hands on the hips. Shifting the weight side to side. Nice and gentle, nice and easy. And shift the weight. Turn the toe and pick up that toe, the one that's not bearing more of my weight. So I'm nice, my foundational leg, my balancing leg, and then my stabilizing leg. Turning from the hips, the toe turns out. Then I transfer my weight onto that foot. So now this is my stationary balancing leg, my foundational leg. My toes turn at a diagonal, so I have a better platform, better foundation to stand on. And then I can step it in, slide it in, or balance my way in ankle to ankle, and then point the toe, like we did earlier in a light leg stance. And my feet are about hip width apart. Just have more weight onto the back leg. And then I'm going to come in, ankle to ankle, step off to the side, slide, or balance. Shift the weight, close the door. When we turn it out, we open it. When we turn it forward or in, we're closing it. And I find my center. Shift the weight, pick up the toe a little bit, turn from the hips so I begin to move as one unit. Even though I'm focusing on letting my foot turn, my hip turns, my shoulders follow, everything's connected. And then I transfer my weight. And I feel the power of my body supporting me. Even if I'm in a chair and I'm shifting my weight and letting my feet move a little bit, that's okay too. Step it in, slide it in, or balance your way in, ankle to ankle, and then point the toe out like you're dipping your toe in a pool. Light leg stance. Bring it in, ankle to ankle, step it, slide it, or balance. Returning to natural stance and closing the door. Shift, turn, root, plant yourself in. Balance your way in. Point the toe. Building strength in the leg that's holding our weight. Building balance in the body. Ankle to ankle. Coming back out. Shift and close the door. Shift the weight. Open the door. Toe turns to a diagonal. It doesn't have to be exactly 45 degrees, but not straight ahead and not all the way to the side. If I turn my toe all the way to the side and then try to balance, I'm balancing on the edge of my foot, and I can do that, but it's not the best position for my hip, and it's not a very good stabilizing, balancing stance. So with that toe at a diagonal, I've got length to my foot, and I have a little bit of width, so it gives me a good stabilizing foundational foot. Then it's easier for me to control my weight, my balance. Point the toe. Maybe you have something you're holding on to nearby. Maybe you have your arms out. Bring it in, out to the side, plant, shift, and close the door. One more time on each side. Shift and open. Shift and balance. Gather. And again, maybe hold it there. Maybe that's too much pressure on your back leg and the muscles and the joints. So bring a little bit of weight forward so you're not all the way back. And maybe you can test your balance and lift the knee, maybe just for a second. Maybe you can get it off the ground. Maybe you can get the knee up in the air. Only do what you can. And bring it down or bring it in, out, close. Other side. Shift and open. Shift and root. Slide in. Point the toe. Maybe you hold it there. Maybe you need to bring some weight forward. Maybe you can shift back a little bit, sit onto that back leg and lift the toe off the ground, maybe just for a second. And then eventually, little by little, maybe you can get that knee up in the air. Maybe you rest your foot on your knee on the other leg. That's okay too. Building up core strength, balance, all kinds of good stuff. Calibrating the body, the nervous system, the muscles. And bring it down or bring it in. Open up and return. 3 deep cleansing breaths. And relax the breath, relax the body. For me, it's near the end of my day, so few deep breaths are all right, but I don't want to do that so much that I get overly energized. Right? So just a few, just to help my body relax, just to signal to my nervous system to relax, restore, rejuvenate. It's time to rest, let go. And for this next little bit, you can stay standing, you could grab a chair. I'm going to stay standing so you can see my hands, and we're going to do a few of the mudras, the hand posture meditations, if you will. It's a way to, every time we organize our body, no matter what we're doing, even if it's unconsciously, we're pumping fluids, and the heart's pumping, and blood's flowing, and we're breathing, and oxygen's moving in and out the body, carbon dioxide, and all that good stuff. All kinds of things are happening. It's when we bring our awareness, our attention into the experience, into the body posture or movement, and bring our breath awareness into it, that we begin to unify the mind, the breath, the body as one. And so when we hold our hands in different positions, we're helping to align a circuitry pattern, pathways in the body where things are happening. So we're just going to take what's happening naturally and focus in. So I'll give you a moment to grab a chair, sip of water if you want. You can stand. You might stand and sway. You might open up the stance and come back down. Anytime that you feel like you're building up tension, you could release your arms. You could, flex and move a little bit. It just depends on where it's happening. Wiggle the toes. Eventually be able to stand for lengths of time without getting tense, without building up unnecessary tension. Moving with me. Exhale. And keep this light and gentle. Gather. And as the hands float down as we exhale, we let the left hand float underneath the right. And if you have that reversed, which mine happened to be because I'm your mirror, it's fine. Energy's flowing both directions. Just a tendency when we connect the hands in this way that though both send and receive, the left hand on the bottom as the bowl is receiving, and the right hand that's on top, that's the lid, is sending. And it begins to flow, circulate. As we bring our breath slow and deep into the belly, you can rest your tongue flat on the roof of your mouth behind your teeth. Or you could gently put the tip of your tongue, the soft palate, in the roof of the mouth. There are other tongue positions as well, but that's a good place to start. Teeth lightly separated or lightly connected, whatever is most relaxing to your jaw. As you let go of the tension, the eyebrows, the cheeks, the jaw. You might sway, you might take a seat to rest your legs. You might have to every so often release the posture or flex or move, whatever you need to do. Just focus in on the breath, slow and deep into the belly. And as the heat builds in the hands, as the energy begins to build between the hands, so let it warm your belly. Imagine that begins to flow towards your spine, begins to fill the sacral chakra, this seat of vitality, this well from which we draw life force as it pumps from the earth up through the legs to the root, into the top of the sea. Continues to flow up the spine, to the crown, flows across the shoulders and down the arms and into the hands and circulates. Press the hands together, lift the hands. Namaskaram. Maybe you have to have your hands in a different position. And then fingertips to the sky. Push the left hand against the right, rolling to the right side of your body. I'm speaking opposite of how my body's moving. So for you, you're on your right. For me, I'm on my left. But right palm facing the shoulder, left hand across. And if that's challenging on the shoulders, then just keep it more centered. You can even bring your arms in nice and tight so you're not putting, pressure on your shoulders if they're not ready for it. It's all just about connecting into a posture, focusing on the breath, giving the opportunity for the mind to soften into an awareness other than the cares and the worries, the dialogue, chewing on the brain, listing out the details, trying to control what is fairly unknowable. We bring our mind on the breath and the attention on the body, the position. We begin to unify the breath, the mind, the body. And point the fingertips to the sky. Push the right hand against the left, rolling to the left side of your body, left palm facing the shoulder, right hand across. And again, if you need to keep it more centered, then do that. This is Syncopa Mudra. This is the opening, establishing intention. And this is where we get our opening affirmation, the I am here, in this place, in this body, in this moment, with this intention. There are other aspects of things going on, but we don't really need to know all the details. Just breathe, feel, be in the moment, be in this body. Not the one we had 5 years ago, 30 years ago. Not the one we wish we had. The one we might have a month, a year from now. And unlocking position 2, fingertips to the sky. Pushing the left hand against the right, bring the hand center, and lower the arms. And maybe you just need to lower them all the way. Maybe that's where you need to be. Maybe your arms are tired and you're seated and your hands are resting in your lap. Otherwise, hands are parallel. Pushing the left hand against the right, rolling, aligning to the right side of the body, right palm facing the sky, left hand on top. Third posture. Breathe slow and deep into the belly. And if you can't breathe through your nose, breathe like sipping through a straw. Slowing down the intake, the inhale, slowing down the exhale, slow and gentle. The breath becoming smooth and silky, long, deep into the belly. Feel the sensation of the breath filling as if the lungs are in the lower abdomen, the belly expanding on the inhale. And squeezing it out, gently squeezing the belly. And now rotate to the center, and again you might have your arms more to the center anyway. We're just going to roll the hands over. You might be able to align the left side of your body, left palm facing the sky. And it works just the same if you happen to be on the other side of the body. If you didn't happen to move in the same direction as I did. It's all working the same. Sometimes we feel compelled to complete things that if we're not able to complete it, then there's something wrong. So if I did the first 2 postures and that was enough for me, that's enough for me. Maybe a handful of times of doing that, maybe I can get to the 3rd and 4th posture. As simple as this may look, it's not always so simple. It just depends on where we're at, what's going on. exercise patience, loving kindness for myself, for the people in my life, even the ones that misbehave. It's okay. And bring the hands to the center. Raise the hands to diagonal namaskaram. Let the energy balance and transfer from right to left and left to right and back again. Allowing the energy to increase in areas where there's too little, where there is depletion, stagnation. Letting the energy flow and circulate, letting the blood flow. Allowing the energy to decrease where there is too much. There might have been a dam, a buildup, an excess. Allowing it to be shared between my right and my left, my up and my down, my front and my back. And left hand on the bottom, right hand on the top, forming bowl and lid. Just focusing on the breath into the belly. There are other things we could do with our awareness and kind of trace the movement, imagine where things are happening. Those details and knowledge can be helpful, but they're not necessary. Just by virtue of us holding postures, and maybe your arms are tired and you're done, you just rest your hands on your belly. Maybe you rest your hands on your thighs. Let your arms hang. Maybe you even need to lie down. Whatever you need to do. It's your ride. It's your movie. Do it in the way that suits you best. Free at any time to adjust myself, to adjust my circumstances, to adjust my breath, to adjust my state of mind, my mood, my disposition. Free at any time to be at home in my body, focused and calm in my mind, at peace. Even if stuff's happening and I need to do, need to act, I can still move from my power, from my center. And then when I have opportunities for stillness, to potentiate, to cultivate, I take those opportunities. That when life calls on me, I am ready. Just letting this posture, this breath, recharge the batteries in the body, replenish the well. And then rising up, namaskaram. Hands at a slight diagonal like a prayer position. It is. And again, if you need to have, a different posture for that, that's okay too. Keep your hands closer to your chest, that's okay. Now, bring your arms parallel. And again, feel free to adjust. Maybe you hold them down instead. We're going to open at the middle fingers, moving into Matsya, the fish. Raise the thumbs. You might even have to get your hands involved. Maybe your hands don't want to do that on their own. We're going to take the left hand and pivot at the middle finger, palm down, with our fingertips pointing away from the chest. Rotate palm down, fingertips pointing away from my body. And now I'm going to take my right hand and bring it over the top, pivoting at the middle finger and placing the hands one on top of the other. You can see it looks like a fish. And then we're going to flex the palms and lift the thumbs. Again, you might have a more relaxed position. You might have your hands lower. Just do the best you can. Both palms are pushing out. Hands are overlapped, thumbs are out, even if you just have to articulate your hands that way. And breathe and relax. It's a little bit of tension in the heart, the palm, the ridge of the palm right about here. But if you need to soften that, soften that. Just breathe and relax. Just as the fish traverses the ocean without fear and doubt, without confusion or hesitation, so do I traverse my life path with certainty and faith that I shall align my fate with my destiny, that the consequences of my choices align me with my highest potential, my highest possibility. That I ride the currents of life, as I merge and swim. And relax the hands. Raise the right hand, hinging at the middle finger, palm facing the chest. Left hand comes out. Relax the thumbs, palms together. Namaskaram. Again, this might be seated. Your hands are in your lap. If your arms are tired, maybe you're just done already. That's okay too. Just take a moment to breathe and relax. Just give yourself permission. You don't need to know how it's happening, where, and why. By virtue of my breath, my awareness on my body, I unify my breath, mind, and body. And I invite and allow the energy to flow, to release where it was blocked and stagnated, to bridge the gaps where there was once disconnection, to increase where there is too little, to decrease where there is too much. In this moment, I move into a balance, a state of harmony, of health and healing. And I trust, whether it reveals itself after moments or a day, months or years, that I do my part. And in turn, something good will emerge. Left hand on the bottom, right hand on the top. Once again, the healing place mudra. Just breathe slow and deep into the belly. Now place the hands on the belly. Just let that warmth seep into your abdomen. Maybe you run cold and your hands are cold. You're like, what heat? It's okay, whatever it is. Whatever you're feeling is what you're supposed to feel at this time. Trust that when it needs to be different, it will be. Just breathe. Now relax the arms. Just take a moment to nourish, a moment to soak. Maybe you're seated, maybe you're lying down. Maybe you're swaying. Maybe you're shifting your weight side to side. Maybe you need to adjust your body somehow. Just do what you need to do. In fact, just start moving any way that you want to. It's like kelp floating in the ocean on a calm day or gentle moonlit night. Just gentle currents moving the body wherever the body wants to go, whatever it wants at this time. Just let go of an expectation that it needs to happen in a certain way. Just breathe slow and deep into the belly. Maybe what your body wants right now is just to be still. So do that. Just do what you can. Do what feels right. And just let everything settle back into the center. And just as we take a moment to ready ourselves for our practice, we conduct our opening. Take a moment to conclude. Take a moment to be ready for the transition to whatever's next. The end of the day, time for bed, or just an afternoon break, getting back to work or whatever we're doing. Or in the morning, just starting out, organizing ourselves for the day. Wherever we are, just taking a moment to transition. I give myself permission to make use of what I experienced today. Allow it to serve me in a way that serves me best, moment to moment. Allow it to integrate into my mind, my breath, my body, my energy. That I may call upon it in my time of need, call upon it when I wish to practice or take a moment for myself. I allow it to become stronger within me, so the next time I return to my practice, I have that much more. It's already built. And I'm ready for what's next. And exhale, gentle inhale, gentle exhale. Right. Namaste, She.